Hi, welcome to TNT Moms.
Where we are blowing stuff up. I'm T,
And I'm Tammy.
and welcome to our first episode of our podcast.
And on this podcast, we're going to be discussing everything related to moms. So before we begin, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Tammy, and I'm the mother of two girls.
And I'm T. I am the mother of three crotch goblins, two boys, and one girl.
So, T, let everyone know why we started this podcast.
All right, well, we started this podcast because we are always on the phone shooting the shit. Am I allowed to say that? Okay. Well, we're always on the phone talking every day, and we, just have conversations about being a mother. And we said, why not have a podcast and be able to bring other mothers on and just see what other mothers think about and think about the topics that we discuss. And so here we are.
Yeah, we just talk about so many different things when it comes to motherhood, and we feel like other mothers can relate to what we're talking about. And we also like to do it in a judgment-free zone.
I may judge you a little bit and myself.
That's okay. So let's begin. So the topic for our first podcast is expectations of motherhood. So my question to you, T, is did you want children? And before you had children, what was your expectations of motherhood?
So I have to, if I ever wanted children, I always went back and forth with myself about it. I said I did want kids and then I didn't want kids. Because back then when I was younger, I was like, I was thinking all about me, me, me. So I was like, if I have kids, will I be able to travel the way I want to? Knowing now that I have kids, I know you can. But back then I was like, will I be able to travel as much as I do now? Will I be, I can't just get up and go. I can't go out the way I want. I'll have this crying baby in my ear, so I really didn't know if I really wanted kids. Um, but here we are, three kids later, right? And as far as the expectations before having my first child, I kind of thought that it would be all cookies and rainbows and unicorns. And I thought it would be easy. Um, you know, because I thought it would be easy because I just didn't think about how challenging certain things would be. I did think it would be a little bit difficult when it was like, am I going to be able to provide for my child? Will I be able to give her the love and guidance that she needs? I was also coming out of the homeless shelter. So I was really, worried about things like that. Will I be able to even, provide for myself, let alone another child? And then also when she was two, she um had developmental delays. So that kind of made things a little bit much more challenging for me, even though I did have, family and things that helped me, because my mom is a speech pathologist. So she was always able to give me great tips and help me with the people that needed to, therapy, the people I needed to hook up with for therapy. But just having a child with special needs, and now I have actually three kids with developmental delays. I did not think that it would be so difficult and challenging for me. How about you, Tammy?
Um, I've always wanted children. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen, but I definitely always wanted children. Far as the expectations for motherhood, I guess I didn't have a lot of expectations. I expected that I was going to be a good mom. I knew it was going to be challenging and hard. I knew it was going to come with joy, hurt. But I knew there was going to just be a lot of love and laughter in my home. But I also thought I would have a village. Like I thought, especially when I got pregnant, everybody was so excited. I expected to have this village and all of this support, and all these people going to be there, to help us, to guide us, to just shower a lot of love on, my baby. So those are the expectations I had before I had children. After I had the children, well, after I had my first one, um, it's still the same thing. A lot of love, laughs, joy in the home, ups, downs, challenges, hard work. But I didn't have a village. And I was really surprised by that. Like, I didn't have the support that I thought I was going to have. I was like, it's me and my husband. There's no one to be like, can you just take her for 1 hour so I could get a nap? It's just going to be the two of us. And with him working a lot of long hours, it a lot of times was just me. And I just didn't expect that, especially when everyone beforehand was so excited. It was like, I can't wait for her to get here. And then she's here. And I'm like, where's everyone? So I didn't expect that. I mean, it made me stronger. It made me really bond with my child and have a connection with her. But I did expect to have more of a village. The one thing I would say I didn't expect is how much motherhood affected my self-esteem.
How so?
Um, It affected in a way where sometimes I think it lowered my self-esteem because you want to get it right. Like you want to feel like I'm doing a good job. Almost like you want to
Mhm.
be perfect at sometimes, even though there's no such thing as perfection, but you feel like I want to get it right. And it just feels like some days you just can't get it right. And anytime, your kid messes up or has a failure, you feel like it's your failure because they're a reflection of you. So it just, slowly just started to knock me down because as much as they were thriving, it still felt like some days I was so exhausted or so tired that I'm like, I'm just not getting this right. They're happy, they're fine, but I wasn't happy. I was tired. I was exhausted because I stopped pouring into me. So, I felt down and sad
Mhm.
sometimes. Like, I'm just not good enough. And like, am I really good for this job? And also, people around you sometimes, they pick at you when it comes to parenthood. They like critique you and have something to say, and they pick every little thing you
Mhm.
do. So that doesn't help. Like you think, especially from other mothers, that you're going to get support. They're going to be there to encourage you. They're going to be there to build you up. But it's the opposite. It's someone telling you,
Mhm.
don't do this. Why are you giving them a pacifier? That's wrong. Your baby shouldn't be sleeping
Mhm.
in bed. It's like everything you do, somebody is criticizing. So that's like kind of like, what I love about our relationship when we talk about motherhood, the ups and downs. Like there's no judgment. It's like I feel like we can relate to each other and we build each other up, take ideas from each other to help, you know, with this journey with motherhood. So you just need people like that in your life because, there's too many tearing you down as a mother.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
So let me ask you this. So if you had your second or third child first, would you have had another child? Would you had all three?
No, 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 no. So for me, all three children were a surprise. So if I had my second or third child first, I don't know if I would have another child, to be honest, because, like all three of my kids, except for their sex and their ages, they are all exactly the damn same. Whoever said that, out of all the kids you have, one is going to be completely calm and different and mild is a damn liar. All right.
Yes, they're
That is not
liars.
true. All three of my kids are so just high energy and just loud and animal like. I mean, no, it's just there's no downtime, really. So it's just, to be honest, if I was to have my second or third child first, since everything was to be a surprise, I don't think I would have had another kid. But three kids later, here I am, and I wouldn't change anything for the world, to be completely honest. I wouldn't have it
Exactly.
any other way. So I know I complain a lot, and talk a lot of crap about these kids, but they are my everything, and I wouldn't be anything but without them. So, how about you?
Um, I don't know if I would have had a second child if I had my baby girl first. So, my
Mhm.
baby girl is autistic, and there's a lot of challenges that do come with that, but there's also a lot of blessings that come with that as well.
Mhm.
Um, but when she was younger, she's 11 now, but when she was younger, there was so much time devoted to doctor's appointments and therapy and
Mhm.
evaluations that I
Mhm.
don't know if I would have had the time or would have been in the headspace to think about having another child,
Mhm.
because everything just revolved around her and her therapy and her progression and what we needed to do at home to help her and doctor's appointments. So I don't know if I would have been able to even think like, should we have another child? Do you want to do
Mhm.
this again? Because it was so much time devoted to her. And even with having both girls, there's times where when my baby girl was little and we was going through more of the evaluations and the therapy, that I was wondering, am I neglecting my older daughter? So I had to make a
Mhm.
conscious effort to always make sure I made enough time for her so she wouldn't be neglected. So
Mhm.
with saying all of that, like you said, I would never change anything about my children. I love them and their blessings. But if I had my baby girl first, I just don't know if that thought would have ever crossed my mind, because everything would have just been centered around her and her development.
Mhm. Let me ask you, would you ever have any more kids moving forward?
No, I don't think I will have any more kids moving forward. After becoming a mom and having more than one child, there's a lot of time that you want to devote to them, not just together, but also separately. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of time that you don't give to yourself anymore. Like you stop taking care of yourself and stop practicing
Mhm.
self-care because you're a mom and you want to make sure you got it right. You want to make sure that you give everything your children that you didn't have, and you want to make sure that they feel loved on and not neglected. And then there's that mom guilt that anytime you
Mhm.
make time for yourself, you feel guilty. You feel like, I
Mhm.
can't go out no more. I got to be with my children. I can't,
Mhm.
sleep in today. I got to be with my children. So adding another child on, I feel like that's not only more time I would take away from my daughters that I have now, but I feel like it would be even more time I take away from myself, because I feel like just now I'm making time for myself, and my kids are 14 and 11, and I'm finally
Mhm.
learning to carve out a little time for myself. So if I have one more child, I think I will go back to my old ways and just make it all about the kids, and I would forget about me. And I know now I have to make time for myself. So yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think I would have more kids. What about you? Would you have want more kids?
I told you I don't even want the 3 that I have now. No, I'm just joking. But no, I definitely don't, I definitely don't want any more kids, and that is the reason why I had that, the tubes completely removed from my body, because I was not having any, like, the doctor telling me, like, "Oh, this part, we know you burnt it or we tied it and it grew back or it came untied." Like, no, no, no. I didn't want to hear any of that because, bodies do miraculous things, so that would be the time, I would be the one that would happen to. So I said, no,
Yeah, so he was like, end it
absolutely
all
not.
now, end it all now.
End it all now. Okay. So no, I just didn't, kids are great, and I know we didn't even plan to have all 3 of them, but 3 definitely is, I know it's not an even number, but it's perfect. It's a perfect number for our family. So I just think that it's good for us, and the kids, even though their ages are so different, 13, 8, and 5, they are still very close to each other. They all sleep in the same bed, and they still take baths together. So, the boys, it's just different. So, I just think it's perfect for us and the way it is.
I
So,
agree.
yes, yes, yes. So, how did we do for our first podcast? Please let us know. Or you don't have to let us know, but you can comment, you can text, or a better way of letting us know is just coming back next month to listen to our next interesting topic. All right. And I also want to let you know that as a mother, closing up, you guys are doing an amazing job, and to always remember to try and take some time for yourself.
So thank you for listening to our first episode of our podcast. Please subscribe to our channel, TNT Moms on YouTube. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.